Gents, welcome into the Snap Fantasy Football Show. Today we're doing a 10-team mock draft Superflex. And look, it's a little bit too early to be doing mock drafts, but maybe not. Maybe not too early. As you can see, I'm solo today. Looking forward to hanging out with you all. Looks like we've got a full lobby. A lot of Discord members in here. If you want to be a part of the Discord, shoot us a message on social media at snap_fantasy. Myself, Landon, or producer Scotty will get you that link if interested. Leave down in the comments below your thoughts on the mock draft. Going through who we've got today. Hooked on a Thielen, Chelly Darton, Big Larry C. I hope that's Larry Kane. We haven't seen Larry Kane before, other than the YouTube comments. But Larry Kane, if that's you, welcome in, my brother. T. Shank, new name, welcome in. Easy Daddy, the one and only, our moderator, our number one fan, long-time listener, supporter. I got myself, Big T, Taylor of Two Worlds, also a OG listener. AJ Berg, savvy fantasy football player. Met him in the Scotty Fish Bowl last year. Welcome in. My co-host Lando couldn't be here on video today, but will be hanging out. And our listener league champion, Mr. Brett Schwartz, 625. Fellas, let's get this underway. I'm going to start this mock draft up. I'm going to do so from my phone. I'm going to draft from my phone just so you don't see me clicking around and doing funny stuff on the desktop here. So let's get this thing started. Now we're doing 30 seconds per pick. We're going to go and turbo this one. Superflex, if you've never played before, is where you have the ability to start two quarterbacks each week. It's not mandatory you start two, but in your flex spot, one of those flex spots has the ability to start a quarterback, and very advantageous to start two quarterbacks on any given week. This is a shallower league, 10 teams. So we're going to want to have the difference makers at almost every position. And what you'll see in Superflex is because those quarterbacks now have more value, they're going to go earlier. Teams are going to build their, the core of their team around quarterbacks instead of running backs. And so you'll see here Patrick Mahomes goes 102 to Chelly Darton. Not a surprise. And what happens is all of those, 5th, 6th, 7th round values on wide receivers now get shifted down. And you'll see this happen even more if we go Superflex tight end premium, because then the quarterbacks and the tight ends have significantly more value and everything else gets shifted down. So my typical strategy in any league like this is load up on quarterbacks and running backs early and grab value at the wide receivers later. And what we've noticed so far this year, too, is that the sleeper ADP is a little bit, I think, whacked. It's a little bit behind. Not really sure why. I guess when we get into doing more and more mock drafts, it'll get better. I hope so. But you kind of have to go through and dig through those later rounds. You got guys like T. Higgins and Jerry Jeudy just absolutely buried. So off the rip, no surprise. CMC, Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara. It's on to Easy Daddy. We'll see what he does. Some solid players still on the board here, though. Absolutely. Easy on that timeout. He's going Travis Kelce. Interesting play. It's not a Superflex tight end premium. I'm trying to look here. Where did Jonathan Taylor slide to? Wow, he is well down. That's different ADP than I've seen. I'm going to take Dalvin Cook. In any of these mocks I've done so far in the offseason, I haven't taken any Dalvin Cook. And, he's about as good as it gets at the running back position. Could be RB1 this year. If you are new to the stream, please considering hitting that thumbs up button. Helps the channel out, and consider subscribing. And if you'd like to be a part of future mock drafts, you can catch this when we go live. If you hit that post notification, you'll get that notification when we're going live. The sleeper link will be in the description of the video, or Again, Discord. Get us on social media at snap_fantasy, and we'll send you that Discord link. Following me, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, followed by Kyler Murray. Now, this is a totally different lobby than some of the Superflex drafts that I've done so far. Our friends, the Fantasy Whisperers, had one on Monday. I jumped in. We didn't see quarterbacks start to go until the 5th, 6th round. And in a lobby like this, we've got a different draft approach from a lot of people. Loading up on quarterbacks early, that's really going to push force the hands of other players. Do you now grab a quarterback here in anticipation of other people following suit, or do you grab the value at other players? Like, there's only been one wide receiver off the board so far, Devontae Adams. There's only been 4 running backs, so there's some elite bell cow backs that are still available here in this draft. And as you see, Zeke Elliott going off the board to Lando, who looks like he's gone on to auto, but hopefully he can return. Aaron Jones off the board. See what Taylor does here after grabbing Lamar Jackson. Schwartz says, I have to stop picking. What does he say? I have to stop picking end of first and expect Josh Allen to fall in the Superflex. Yes, he should be very, very early in a lot of your drafts. Josh Jacobs off the board. I'm now faced with, do I take my elite Jonathan Taylor, who I think is elite? Do I take a Saquon Barkley here in hopes that he returns to form? Or do I jump in on the quarterback position? And I think I'm going to stay running back here. It's between Barkley and Taylor, which is, crazy to me. I'll take Saquon Barkley. I think he's going to return to form this year. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. And grabbing him there, that is fantastic. Great value. Very shocked to see Josh Jacobs go before Saquon Barkley or Jonathan Taylor. With Kenyon Drake now joining that backfield, another Alabama running back. John Gruden just has this thing for Alabama backs. We might see a tandem. They paid him handsomely. Larry C grabbing Deshaun Watson. That's I know the name value is still there, but I'm afraid to roster Deshaun Watson this year. I think I'm kind of hands off as of right now. If I was drafting today, I think I'm hands off with this whole situation going down in Houston. It doesn't look good. The count's up to, I think, 22, I think is the exact number of women that have come out. So not looking good for Deshaun. There's also been like 18 people that have signed affidavits saying that he is through and through been a solid guy. So I don't really know what to think, but I think I'm hands off for that. We got the Fantasy Whisperers in the chat. I think Deshaun sits this year as well. I'm on the same side as you. Hopefully that's Travi or Austin or even Johnny. I think it's actually Johnny, but we appreciate you guys stopping by. If you haven't checked out the Whisperers, you can get them from our homepage there. I think it's Fantasy Football Fam. You can click their channel and go over. Hooked on a Thielen, getting an absolute value. Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd round. And that's kind of what I'm saying with all of these quarterbacks. And if it's even a super flex, if it's a tight end premium, you'll see George Kittle's and Travis Kelce's and Darren Waller's getting mixed in with these opening 2 to 3 rounds. So really pushes down the rest of the value. So we've got a decent amount of quarterbacks off the board left here. We've got Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields. It's up to me. Russell went off the board. Tyreek Hill off the board. I kind of want to double down one more time and hope that these guys don't go for QB2. I think I'm going to take another running back. I've done a lot of Najee Harris. I think I want to go with maybe a more safer option. I'm going to go Cam Akers. I'm going to really load up here on running backs and see how it pans out. It's a little bit of a gamble. I probably should have gone quarterback, but we'll see. There's still some solid options out there at the quarterback position, but what you'll see is it's going to get thin quick. If guys start taking QB2s, it's going to get very thin. And so this is the risk you run with a Superflex draft. But so far, I like hooked on a Thielen's team the most. I think Dak is solid. There you see Lando going for QB2, Justin Herbert. That's a great pick as well. But I like the start that Landon has with his two quarterbacks. I really like the start that Hooked on a Thielen has with CMC, Jonathan Taylor, and Dak Prescott. But we'll see what comes back. It is Johnny. Thank you for stopping by, Johnny. I know you guys got a busy day out there in the desert, but we appreciate you. Derek, I think Justin Herbert's going to be amazing too. And look at this. Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, the run of quarterbacks is hot. I kind of got caught here with my pants down a little bit. But that's kind of the fun thing about Superflex is that you can build your team. You can build the core of your team in a variety of different ways. It could be RB heavy. It can be wide receiver value, like no RB. It can be quarterback heavy. You can get 2 stud quarterbacks. I'm kind of sitting here going, I got to get a quarterback before it's too late. Ryan Tannehill is probably the most solid. I like Baker Mayfield's chances. I'm gonna take Baker Mayfield here. I don't feel great about it. Doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies. But I really like him there. I think he has a solid year with the Browns. That offense is really starting to take form. And with the return of Odell Beckham Jr., that solid running game, this team could be. They might win their division, man. You never know. But Baker really had a step forward last year. I could see it trending. Easy Daddy looking like he's timing out. Oh, it did give him Ryan Tannehill. I saw Antonio Gibson in there. Maybe a last-minute switch. So I grabbed Baker. I might round it out with, like a rookie. I typically like to go quarterbacks early, but you can see they've come off the board quite quick here. But lots of value left at wide receiver. So after me, Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown. That's a nice little value there. Najee Harris. I like it, Big Larry. Calvin Ridley. Chelly just can't seem to get enough of Calvin Ridley on his dynasty teams. On his redraft teams, he's got him what seems to be everywhere. And funny enough, we've only seen one tight end off the board yet. In a 10-team league, that upper echelon elite tight end prospect is a difference maker. And in a shallower league, you definitely need the best of the position if possible. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. There's Chelly. Maybe he heard what I said, but he's off the board. 2 tight ends, George Kittle, Darren Waller, both going, and Antonio Gibson going just before me, and Justin Fields. So I kind of want to grab wide receiver 1, Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson available for me here. Had Darren Waller or George Kittle been available, I might have pivoted and gone that way. If you follow the show, you know that I am no stranger to professing my love for Allen Robinson. I kind of really hope that the Bears are able to either move Darnell Mooney or Anthony Miller, grab some more capital, maybe go out and draft a guy like Terrace Marshall or Rashad Bateman, and really get a guy that can work alongside Allen Robinson. And it's crazy. You think Allen Robinson, best quarterback he's ever had, throw him the ball, might be Andy Dalton this upcoming season. In college with Christian Hackenberg, in the pros so far, it hasn't been good for Allen Robinson, but he continues to be a fantasy superstar, a trusted and reliable target. So I would love to see Allen Robinson get a new number 2 to work alongside him in Chicago. Not really sure what to make of that team this year. I still don't think that they have the ability to beat the Packers for the division, but we'll see. Tons of running back value still. Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, James Robinson off the board here in the beginning of the 6th, back of the 5th. And that's really where I could have differentiate. I could have kept going running back just with all of that wide receiver value still left on the board, but good to get that wide receiver 1 locked and loaded. This could be where I look to go quarterback 2 before it really tapers off. There's some really solid options here. You can never have too many running backs, and running backs are, if you're plentiful, a good spot that you can trade away. On the board, 4 quarterbacks: Carson Wentz, Matt Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Mitch Trubisky. I think there's still enough there that I'm okay with if there's a bunch that come off the board. I got 15 seconds. Kenny G, Tyler Lockett, Odell Beckham. I'm going to grab myself Amari Cooper. Not something I would typically do, but another trusted target, one that Dak loves a lot. And I'm doing some different things here. Waiting on quarterback, going wide receiver a little earlier, maybe going for a more balanced approach. We'll see how it works out. But still some solid running back value on the board. All right, new team update. Who am I liking the most here? I think Schwartz, with the pieces he has added, has really rounded out his team, has really developed it. Started out Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams. I mean, how can you go wrong? Follows up with Rodgers and Burrow. We'll see how Burrow materializes, trends towards starting at the beginning of the year. And then J.K. Dobbins, James Robinson. Even though I'm not the biggest James Robinson fan, that's great value for him in the 6th round. So I like the way his team is trending. Landon's team is solid. Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Zeke, DeAndre Swift, Miles Sanders, and then grabbing Julio. Could this be the year that we see Julio fall off? Potentially, but he's still Julio Jones. He's still going to be probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he can stay healthy, he'll be solid. And then we've got Larry C is on a trend of 4 straight rookies: Najee Harris, Justin Fields, Travis Etienne, and Jamar Chase. I love some of those guys. I don't love having that many rookies on a team. It's good to maybe go with 1 or 2 and pick your spots with them, but having that many is a little bit troublesome. Easy Daddy on the board. He's got Antonio Gibson and David Montgomery. Looks like he is timed out once again. Interesting. I see him in the chat, though. Not sure what's going on. It's over to me. And, again, looking at the quarterback options, I do like Carson Wentz in Indy. I also like Jalen Hurts, even though some people don't have the confidence in him. Zack Wilson might be worth it, but I'm going to go Carson Wentz. Again, it's not something that gives me the warm and fuzzies. I think he'll be a trusted and reliable option. And when you look at the weapons that Indy has at their disposal, 2 really solid running backs, both pass catchers in Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines. And Marlon Mack's coming back. So the run game is going to be solid for the Colts this year. Then you look at T.Y. Hilton's returning. Paris Campbell's coming back from injury. Michael Pittman had a good rookie season. If these guys draft any skill position players in the opening couple rounds, I think this team is in really, really good shape. Could be an AFC contender this year. So I like where the Colts are. I think Carson Wentz, when you look at in the 12 games he played, he had like 50 sacks. When you look at how many sacks the Colts gave up last year, 19. Like, there is a substantial difference in the protection that Carson Wentz is going to get. And I think he does need that. I think he does need time. But when you give him a clean pocket, Carson Wentz has shown that he can be an MVP caliber player. So I do like the chances for Carson Wentz in Indy. I think that was one of the best landing spots that he could have had. And we'll see how that plays out. But I am hopeful for him. Landon seems to have sniped Schwartz. Brett was hoping to get maybe CeeDee Lamb there, and it didn't. Funny to see Devontae Smith going before CeeDee Lamb. That one seems a little crazy to me. Let's check in on the YouTube chats. Schwartz team is nasty, I agree. Thanks. Just redid the backdrop. Trying to just aspire to y'all's level of quality. And We got to get that. Yeah, you're right. We got to get that GB sign popping. Appreciate it. Landon's just got to get his in shape, and then we'll both be all right. Okay, it's back to me soon. I got to look at what is left here at the running back position. James Conner. James Conner is on the board still. What I want to know. Let me know in the YouTube chat if you guys are hanging out. Let me know. What do you think about James Conner to the Cardinals? I think it's interesting, but I don't think that it is a piece that takes away from Chase Edmonds. I think Chase Edmonds still has the ability to win this job. And I actually think he might be the better back. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I want to see, what do you guys think about the whole situation there with them signing? Taylor grabbed Odell Beckham Jr. I'm probably going to go wide receiver again here. It's just a matter of who. Cooper Kupp's a really good PPR option. Courtland Sutton I love. I'm going to go with Courtland Sutton. And Easy Daddy, hard on the Chase Edmonds bandwagon. There we go. Big Larry goes Tyler Lockett, T. Shank, Cooper Kupp. I was going to take Cooper Kupp there, but I took him in the Whisperers Monday mock. So, again, I'm just kind of pivoting. I'm trying to see where I can find some value. Does anybody really want Conner? No, Chris. I don't think that they do. And then Johnny says, I'm with you, man. I think this is actually good for Chase as it will keep his draft value down. That's a good point as well. Had the Cardinals not drafted or signed anybody, it would have been wheels up on Chase Edmonds, and his ADP might have skyrocketed. I still think you can get him in the late singles, early double-digit rounds come August or September if news kind of trends the same way. We've seen the endorsement from Cliff Kingsbury. The signing of James Conner doesn't really point to Chase Edmonds taking a back seat. I think it's just maybe another piece for them to put in, and it kind of speaks what we thought they might do at 16. Go out and grab Najee Harris potentially right out from underneath the Miami Dolphins. It seems like that's not going to be the case. They're probably going to go with an offensive lineman, given how deep this offensive line class is. So I don't like Conner. I'm not trying to pick up James Conner in any facets, but it's interesting. Okay, back to me. On the board still for running backs, you've got some okay options, but the wide receiving options are certainly much better. I'm really intrigued with Jalen Waddle this year. I would love to take him here. Also, Juju Smith-Schuster is available. I'm going to go with Juju. And, here's the thing with Juju. He's let you down 2 years in a row. Deontay Johnson has been the best wide receiver there. Chase Claypool arguably was better than Juju last year. I know he popped in a couple games, but he was better than Juju, man. Do I have the faith that Juju Smith-Schuster can return to form? Can he be a 1,000-yard receiver? Potentially. He just can't be the alpha. You saw him be a dominant complement to Antonio Brown. He had a 1,400-yard season as the number 2 to Antonio Brown. I just don't think he works well when he's forced to be the guy. And so when you look at this receiving core, how it's starting to take shape, Chase Claypool is a monster of a man. Deontay Johnson just works the slot like nobody else. If he can secure the ball and not lead the league in drops, that would be fantastic. But Juju kind of has the ability to quietly have a really good season, I think, with Ben coming back for what looks like one more year. If they can get a run game, at 24 in this draft, if they can go out and secure themselves a Travis Etienne, a Javonte Williams. I don't think Najee Harris falls that far, but he could. I think this team has a chance. I know that their offensive line isn't great either, so they'll probably end up, boosting that. But Juju Smith-Schuster does have the capability to have a better season. All right, following me, Tyler Boyd, Rondell Moore, and TJ Hawkinson. Landon's made a lot of savvy moves here. He has 3 quarterbacks. He has a solid tight end in TJ Hawkinson. I was keeping my eye on Kyle Pitts. He went to Charlie Darton at the beginning of the 9th round. T. Higgins off the board at the turn. So keep your eye on the tight end position. That's certainly something that I've been trying to do here. I probably should have maybe gone TJ, just given how many solid wide receivers are available. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm going to do something a little bit different here when it comes back to my pick. It might not be the best play, but I think it's the right play just for some upside. I kind of want to go tight end. Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, Logan Thomas, like all good options. Probably Blake Jarwin way down there if I went to go look for him. Noah Fant. Like that. There's a lot of tight ends within the same tier for me. A guy that could have himself a season, who has a lot of draft capital, is going to be Zack Wilson. And I'm not the biggest Zack Wilson believer. I don't. What I've watched of his film doesn't jump off to me. And he's really just been a guy that in this last year has popped off. Is he worthy of the 2nd overall pick? I think I would go elsewhere if I were the Jets. But if you go 2nd overall, you're gonna have yourself a season. And with them trading away Sam Darnold, they don't have much in terms of a backup. Like, he's gonna be forced to play week 1 unless they go and secure some, mid-tier backup just to sort of help him out. But the Jets and Zack Wilson could have themselves a decent little machine there if they can pick up a running back in the 20s, if they can secure this wide receiving core, if they can get somebody at tight end, like if Chris Herndon can actually figure it out, Zack Wilson could have himself a quietly good season. And I think at this point, going for my QB3, I definitely do want 3 of them. I need somebody with upside. I need somebody that can come out and give me what Justin Herbert gave to the Chargers last year, and anybody that took a shot on Justin Herbert late last year. So I'm going to go Zack Wilson. I'm going to hope that that's sort of the piece that can turn this team around. I like the team so far. I don't love the team. My quarterbacks are a little weaker than I typically have. But a lot of people going quarterback early, and that's kind of what you would expect to see in a Superflex draft. Wow, that went quick. People must there's some people with their autos on. All right, it's back to me. I got to keep my eye on the tight end position. This is kind of the time where I should go tight end. Let's go out and grab, we don't know where Zach Ertz is going to be. It's between Evan Ingram and Hunter Henry for me. I'm going to go Hunter Henry. I love Hunter Henry's talent. Don't love the current situation with the Patriots. But it is what it is. Okay, peeking back, I'm just looking through these teams here. I like that Chelly went with the Kyle Pitts. I don't know that he needed to, though, given with the George Kittle draft selection. Seemed maybe like a wasted pick. I do like the run of wide receivers that Schenk has put together. Cooper Kupp, Deontay Johnson, Jalen Waddle, T.Y. Hilton. A good mix of floor and upside there. I still think my 2 favorite teams are Landon's and Brett's. I think those 2 teams have really rounded themselves out, really been solid. Jumping back over to the chat, we only have 5 picks this year, so having to spend a first round running back would be hard. He's talking about Arizona. Just makes it less likely. I think they might go Chuba in the 3rd if available. That seems about right. If Pitts gets Williams or Etienne, the fantasy football world is going to go crazy. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And I don't think it's probable that we see the top 3 running backs off the board in Travis Etienne, Najee Harris, and Javonte Williams. I think maybe one of them goes in the first round. I know we've been mocking them to be a little bit different, but I don't necessarily know that happens. I wouldn't be shocked to see just one go. Okay, diving through, getting ready for my pick here. We saw Michael Carter, James Conner go off the board. I'm kind of scrolling around here, seeing what's left. Devontae Parker's still on the board. I kind of think that's where I've got to go here. Him or Jarvis Landry? Do I stack him with my Baker, or do I just go and pivot? You know what? I haven't drafted any Jarvis Landry in any mocks. So, again, we're just going to go with the theme of doing things a little bit different today. And I'm fine with that. For any of you that are watching right now and haven't checked out the podcast, right below me here, that's our podcast artwork. You can get us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever you guys get a podcast, you can most likely find us. Feel free to subscribe. Get those episodes every single Saturday throughout the actual fantasy season. We do a couple shows a week. We got a waiver wire show. We've got a sort of get you ready for the weekend show. So check us out there. If you haven't already, rating and review goes a long way. We'd really, really appreciate that from you all. Going through this 11th, 12th round here, some of the picks that I really like: Robbie Anderson in Carolina with the departure of Curtis Samuel, with the addition of Sam Darnold. I think that could be a really, really nice play. He's a huge yards after catch guy, proved his worth this year, and could be a big piece moving forward. Chase Claypool is another guy that I really like. Canadian product. How can you not? And Ronald Jones and Brandon Ayuk are the other two that I will pull out there. Guys to keep eye on. Kenneth Gainwell would have been my pick there had Big Larry not gone and grabbed him. I was looking maybe to add some talent, some rookie talent. Kylan Hill is another running back I think could stand out for you this year if you want to take the shot on him. I've got 2 picks left. You know what? I'm going to go out and do that. I'm going to grab Kylan Hill. A guy that you haven't heard of probably before, unless you listen to our interview with Garrett Price from Dynasty Nerds. Kylan Hill is a rusher, played for Mississippi, SEC running back. Fantastic years in college. Probably should have came out last year, I thought, but didn't. Very, very quietly ripped up the SEC. Huge rusher. And so I would just put him onto your radar. If you haven't heard of Kylan Hill before, watch some tape, do some research. He might be a good stash, a player that I'm going to be monitoring. Where does he go in the NFL draft? So Kylan Hill, giving one of my guys away. There's the tight end run that we kind of thought might happen. I was hoping to snag a second. I still think I will snag a second, but some guys like Noah Fant, Tyler Higbee, Robert Tonyan that I would be interested in went there. I think the best remaining tight end on the board is Mike Gesicki. So I'm going to grab him and round out my tight end pieces. 2 picks left. Chelly, hooked on a Thielen. I will go through my team. I will then pick a team that I think has the best and give them a grade. And Trey Sermon is the last pick. All right, I'll go through my team here. I'll give you some insight as to sort of how this unfolded and the grade I would give myself, and then I'll kind of go through your teams. So Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, Cam Akers, obviously establishing the core of my team here at the running back position, and I'm going to start those guys each and every week and only have to pivot on bye weeks. So typically I like to go with the quarterbacks in a Superflex league, and I didn't in this one. And looking back at them, I don't love my quarterbacks, but I don't hate them either. If Zack Wilson can have himself a solid rookie season, I think that I'm in decent shape here. So really good at the running back position. Allen Robinson, Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, Juju, Jarvis Landry. I think 5 really solid wide receivers. Robinson, Cooper have wide receiver 1 upside. Cortland Sutton and Juju are a little bit of a question marks. Just Cortland returning from injury. Juju still trying to find his way in the Steelers wide receiving core. And then Jarvis Landry is about as solid as it gets. He's probably been the most reliable option for Baker over the last 2 years. So Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz, Zack Wilson. Like I said, if Wilson can have himself a solid rookie season, I'll be in decent shape. But this quarterback's room is not going to win me weeks. It's not going to lose me weeks either. Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki. I think I have 2 solid tight ends there. I would give this team probably a solid B, potentially B+. I think the running backs are fairly elite, and if the quarterbacks can have decent seasons, I'll be okay. Okay, hooked on a Thielen, CMC, Dak Prescott, Jonathan Taylor, Melvin Gordon. Love the start. Mike Evans, Kenny Golladay, Raheem, Jameis Winston. I'm a little unsure about Jameis Winston and what's happening there in New Orleans. I'm not sure I love him as the QB2. Robert Woods, Will Fuller, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall. I like the Terrace Marshall pick with upside. Evan Ingram, Trey Sermon. This team is solid. I think that Jameis, again, kind of scares me. If he is the lead guy, fantastic. You know that Taysom Hill is going to be involved. And if Jameis doesn't perform, it's probably going to be a quick insertion of Taysom Hill. And he was all right when he was a starter. I didn't love him for fantasy. I didn't love what he provided, Alvin Kamara, but we'll see. So only 2 QBs, not the strongest. Christian McCaffrey is a bonus. I would give this team a B-. B-. Chelly, Pat Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, a good start. We'll see what Trevor Lawrence can do there in Jacksonville. Should be well equipped. Your only 2 quarterbacks. Then you went Chris Carson, Calvin Ridley, George Kittle, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Javonte, David Johnson, Tevin Coleman, Kyle Pitts, Devontae Parker. Okay. So this team had a solid start. I would have liked to see you maybe mix in another quarterback. Like the Kyle Pitts pick is enticing. It's good. I just don't understand why you would go Kyle Pitts given that you already took George Kittle. So I think that's where you could have popped in like a Sam Darnold or a Zack Wilson or Kirk Cousins just to get you another option while Trevor Lawrence sort of establishes himself. And the running backs are fairly weak. Chris Carson, Javonte Williams, David Johnson, Myles Gaskin. You never know what could happen to him. Miami could go out and draft Najee Harris, and he's kind of really relegated to pass catching work. So we'll see how that shakes out. I would give this team like a B- as well. Potentially C+. Big Larry, Derrick Henry, Deshaun Watson, Michael Thomas, Najee Harris, Justin Fields, Travis Etienne, Jamar Chase. Okay, I think I've seen enough. Derrick Henry, fantastic. Deshaun Watson, like I said, I'm staying far away from the Houston Texans. I'm basically staying away from every player on the team minus Brandon Cooks. I'll take Brandon Cooks in the later rounds just because he's probably going to have a ton of volume. But I'm staying away from Deshaun Watson. Your 2 quarterbacks here, Deshaun Watson, Najee Harris. Deshaun Watson, Justin Fields. Dude, week 1, you might not have a quarterback in a Superflex league. So I think your quarterbacks are really going to let you down. Taking way too many risks, too, on rookies. Najee Harris, Justin Fields, Travis Etienne, Jamar Chase. As much as I love Harris and Etienne and Chase, I don't want to roster 3 of them. And so looking back here, a run of running backs to sort of save it, and then Brevin Jordan. I mean, I know you were on auto for a bunch. This team is bad. This team is almost unsalvageable. I think this is like a D+. I'll give you a D+ just for picking Derrick Henry. But that's, yeah, not good, my man. Okay. T. Shank. Like I said, new to the stream, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, Russell Wilson, A.J. Brown, Darren Waller, Matt Stafford, Kareem Hunt. What a solid start there. I love the pass catching options. Kamara, Eckler, Hunt, really, really solid PPR plays. Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, really safe. Really interested to see what Matt Stafford can do with the Rams. Darren Waller is that difference maker at the tight end position. Cooper Kupp, Deontay, Jalen Waddle, T.Y. Hilton, Zach Ertz as a filler. I like this team a lot. I really do. I think you did a solid job. Would have liked to see you maybe fill in one more. Like Brandon Cooks is a solid value there. I don't know if you needed to go Zach Ertz, but filling in maybe one more quarterback could have been interesting. But man, solid team. I give this an A-. Absolutely. All right, on to Eric. Eric, I know you auto-drafted some of these picks, but we'll go through. Travis Kelce at the 1.5 was very interesting for me. If this was a tight end premium league, I would have said great pick. But it's not. It's just a Superflex league. So I didn't love that pick. I thought going Dalvin Cook, going one of the elite quarterbacks would have been the better play, but who knows. Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, solid, really good. Ryan Tannehill, QB1, I like the pick. Antonio Gibson was a steal. I maybe should have gone there. David Montgomery, you really saved the running back core with those two. Keenan Allen, Darnold, Fitzpatrick, Claypool, Lindsey. This team is a solid B. I think from the get-go, you kind of put yourself in a hole with Travis Kelce. I mean, he is a difference maker, don't get me wrong. But it would have been nice to have an elite quarterback or running back there instead. But you did save it with Gibson and Montgomery, so I'll give this team a solid B. Okay, on to Taylor. Lamar, Josh Jacobs, Clyde, DK Metcalf, Tom Brady, Adam Thielen, Leonard Fournette, OBJ, Tyler Boyd, Rashad Bateman, Ronald Jones, Taysom Hill, Rob Gronkowski, and Chuba Hubbard. Taylor, this is probably one of the better drafts I've seen you do. Lamar Jackson is solid. Your running back core, Josh Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. You got both of those Tampa Bay backs, which might be a little bit troublesome, but a decent core, a really good receiving core. I like the upside on Rashad Bateman, and you've got some safety with Tom Brady there as well, and some upside with Taysom Hill. Again, I would give this a B. It's in the same realm as Easy's team. I think you both did a good job. On to Adam. Josh Allen, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Joe Mixon, Chris Godwin, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, Matt Ryan, Rondale Moore, Kirk Cousins, Mike Davis, James Conner, Robert Tonyan, Tyler Higbee. Okay. This team's solid. Very good. The wide receiving core is great. Hopkins, Godwin, Jefferson in the 6th was unbelievable value. Devontae Smith is a question mark. I like it. Rondale Moore, I mean, what are those two? One of them probably hits and has a really solid rookie season. Mike Davis, James Conner are some flyers. And the tight ends in the last 2 rounds, they're 2 of my favorite tight ends. Robert Tonyan has the wide receiver designation thrown in there this year. So I do like that. I would give this team an A-. I think it is really well-rounded. I love having Josh Allen. And you've got yourself 2 really reliable, accurate throwers in Matt Ryan and Kirk Cousins. So I think that is a solid team. Okay, on to my co-host, Lando. A happy belated birthday to him as well. Kyler Murray, Zeke Elliott, Justin Herbert, DeAndre Swift, Miles Sanders, Julio, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Hurts, TJ Hawkinson, Brandon Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Carter, Noah Fant, Michael Pittman. Team is great. And this is sort of the way that I like to build my teams. It's elite quarterbacks, elite running backs, and then grab all of the value at the wide receiver position. And Julio and CeeDee Lamb, man, really, really solid picks. I like the Jalen Hurts upside. TJ Hawkinson is, second tier tight end, but at the top of that tier. Brandon Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy. I think if this team has the second year step forward out of guys like Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Swift, Justin Herbert, man, like a lot of second-year guys going in here, but we expect big things. If that actually happens, this team would be unstoppable. So I'll give this an A+. Schwartz, I think I'm going A+ as well, but I got to go back through the team. Started Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams. I kind of thought, this guy's not going for the, upper echelon wide receiver or quarterbacks. comes back on the turn, grabs Rodgers, Burrow. I like it. Dobbins and Robinson really, like I highlighted earlier, really save this team. DJ Chark, Mark Andrews, T. Higgins, Dallas Goedert, Deebo Samuel, Cam Newton. So I think this team is solid enough. The quarterbacks are fine. If Joe Burrow plays starting week 1, this team's going to be great. If he doesn't, you've got Cam Newton to rely on, which, look, it's not what you wanted, but it's fine. I give this team an A. I think Landon's team is better. Just with those 2 elite quarterbacks and 3 elite running backs. But I think this team was saved with the J.K. Dobbins, James Robinson picks. So really, really solid. Not to say that because Landon's my co-host, I'm biased here, but I think this team is really, really good. So I would give the win here to Lando. Appreciate you guys stopping by the stream today. If you really enjoy this, let us know. We'll do more of this. We'll try to mix in a couple more throughout the off season as we trend towards the draft, as we trend towards the fantasy season, which I'm not trying to wish my summer away here, but I really, really do want mock season to pick up. I want draft season to be here. That's my favorite time of the fantasy football calendar. So appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for jumping in the chat today. You guys were great. Go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Leave us a like. Leave us a comment and consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. We will see you on Saturday for our podcast, so keep an eye out for that. And we'll see you on Monday with Mock Draft 3.0. We'll see you guys next week.